All right, this is a quick review of adverb clause reduction that we did on Friday in class. So we talked about what adverb clauses are, starting with different types of clauses that we already know about. Okay, and the idea that adverb clauses can be adverb clauses of time, using these words here. And we also talked about adverb clauses of reason, using since and as and because. And these subordinated conjunctions here are the ones that you're quite familiar with. What we talked a little bit more about were some of the ones that use the expression using that. And so we come over here to look at all of these ones. Okay. So we have a variety of different types of subordinators that we can use with that. Okay, let's just have a look at a couple of them here. Okay, so we've got on account of the fact that, owing to the fact that, due to the fact that, in view of the fact that. As a result of the fact that, I don't think really belongs here, because that one's more about sort of cause and effect or consequence. But all of these other ones sort of basically talk about reasons things happen. Okay? So when we talk about adverb clauses, we can talk about different different subordinators that we can use to represent reason. So these ones and these ones. When we think about what makes a clause, it's important for us to consider what what language we're using here. Okay. A clause is a clause because it has a subject and a verb. Okay, this is really important. And then certain words or expressions necessitate a clause. And necessitate here just means there's a reason for the clause. When we look at all of these words over here, since, as, because, and these expressions, they all function as what we call subordinators in English. And the job of a subordinator is to join a dependent and independent clause. Okay. So when we look at the words since, as, because, and the expressions with that, their meaning function is that they express reason, okay, why something happens. Their function is as subordinators, okay, and subordinators do this. Okay. So when we're thinking about this kind of language in English, we need to think about what is the meaning and what is the function of the word. Okay, and the function of the word is going to give us some clues on sentence grammar. And sentence grammar leads us back up to here. Okay, we know that when we have a subordinator, we need to have a subject and a verb that comes next. Okay, so this is important as we go into what's happening when we reduce clauses. All right, so when we reduce an adjective clause, an adverb clause, okay, we can reduce it to this. It's called a noun phrase. So if we have a sentence like, we didn't drive to Banff due to the fact that there was a lot of snow, which is certainly the case today. What we want to do is reduce this part, the fact that, and then we're going to reduce the subject and the verb. Okay, and the reason that we're going to reduce the subject and the verb is because instead of having something that acts like a subordinator due to the fact that, now all we have is due to. Okay, and due to is not a subordinator. Okay, and for this reason, after a phrase like due to, we can't have a subject and a verb. We need to have a noun or a noun phrase. If we go back, let's go back one more. If we go back to these words, since, as, because, due to the fact that, these all function as subordinators. And we know that subordinators need a subject and a verb because they introduce clauses. Now what we've done in the reduction is we've taken out the fact that and the subject and the verb. Okay, and so what happens next is we need to make sure that we have a noun or a noun phrase that comes next. It's important to notice that we haven't changed the meaning of the sentence here. Okay, when we reduce a subordinator, we don't change the meaning, but we do change the function. Okay, and that's important. When we reduce the subordinator, we don't change the meaning of the sentence, but we do change the function of what's happening in the word. Okay, because now we cannot have, oops, that's probably a bad color. Let's go back to red. Let's erase this. We cannot have due to plus subject plus verb. It cannot happen in English. Okay. So let's have a look at the one below. Okay, so that one was number 1. Let's have a look at number 2. Okay, what's happening in this sentence? Because nobody was interested, the trip was cancelled. Okay, so here we have our subordinator, here we have the subject, and here we have the verb. Okay. We're going to change because to because of. Okay, and now with because of, we need a noun or a noun phrase in exactly the same way that we did with due to. So what does this look like? Because of, but we can't say because of nobody was interested. Okay, if we change this word and we delete these two words, then we're left with just this, interested. And we can't say because of interested, the trip was cancelled. Okay, it doesn't make sense. So sometimes we need to change the wording in the sentence to reflect the same meaning that the original sentence had. And so here we say, because of the lack of interest, the trip was cancelled. Okay. Another way we did this in class was we said, I'm just going to get rid of this one here so I can write down here. What did we say? We said because of disinterest, the trip was cancelled. Okay, so whatever happens here needs to be a noun or a noun phrase. And sometimes it's going to be the